Hello, hello. Your two slip fielders are back. We're missing one of them. He's traveling a bit. But we've got Chai at first slip. I'm gonna stand at fly slip this time because it's one day. You don't need all the slips. We're gonna talk about Champions Trophy. We haven't actually opened any of the games yet, so yeah, we're gonna review Pakistan game, the first one, Pakistan New Zealand, and then we've got the Afghanistan South Africa. Um, and I'm missing one, am I? I think those are the two games, right? Yeah.
Yeah, India, Bangladesh.
India, Bangladesh also. How can I forget? Yeah, let's kick things off. Chai, thoughts on the first game, New Zealand, Pakistan, the opener? Did you have them winning? Did you want them to win? Were you going for New Zealand?
Oh well, I think I'm just checking my predictor, whom I was actually going for, but
I think we all went for
the
New
way
Zealand.
Pakistan, yeah, the way Pakistan kicked off with bowling, quick wickets at the start, and I felt, this was the revenge from the
Tri series.
Tri-Series finals. Um, but I think that middle-over partnership and two big centuries from New Zealand hurt Pakistan real bad.
The crazy thing to note is that the two batters who saved them had the most terrible tri series. Latham got up for ducks, and Will Young
Yeah,
didn't score, I
mhm,
think, more than 10 runs every game. Um, so
yeah,
now that's also a selection headache for them next game when Rachin's going to be fit. Um, but yeah, I think to stitch a massive partnership in the middle and getting past 300 on a tricky wicket, because losing wickets at the top, tricky wicket, and then getting past 300, because the pass score was actually 260, 270 on this ground or on that pitch. And we could see
yeah.
how Pakistan went about their batting after.
And I think for Pakistan, they had that major blow in the first over of the game itself with Fakhar walking out. You're playing 11. You're probably most informed batter at the top of the order. I think that stuffed it up as well for the batting lineup.
But his dive didn't even look potent. Like, I don't know how he got hurt. Like,
He was just chasing. He didn't even dive.
yeah,
He was
he
just
just sat
chasing the
down and he's
ball,
like, oh,
and he pulled up his muscle and walks out. There were a few. I don't know if you've caught up on those
the memes.
videos
Oh,
on
I
internet
haven't
where
seen
he
them.
was walking back. Oh my God, he was so struggling to
Yeah,
climb up the stairs, heading back into the dressing room.
wow.
He wasn't looking good. So I
Well,
felt, all right,
he's
this is
he's out for
probably
the whole
it. And then
series.
he's out of the tournament.
Yeah, yeah. And I think Imamul Haq replaces him in the squad. I don't know if he'll make the 11, but
Yeah,
yeah. Um,
yeah. And Babar Azam's innings has copped a lot of heat.
yeah, I don't know why. Like, to be honest, I think I get that he played slow, right? But like the reason he had to play slow was because everyone around him was just dropping like flies. Like, what else are you meant to
Yeah.
do when everyone else is getting out? How are you meant to accelerate? Like, what if you get out while accelerating? Imagine the kind of hate he'd have gotten then.
Oh, um, yeah, I think it was a terribly slow start for Pakistan's innings in
I think,
itself. You know,
think
when Rizwan got out, he was 22. Score was 22. It was 10
10
overs.
overs, yeah,
Like, I don't think the pitch was that bad to go
yeah.
that defensive,
22 is a bit
but
much.
with a new opening partner for Babar going into the game, and then of course home conditions, first game, a lot of pressure, chasing 320 plus as a target.
That's also something I think they got wrong because I think Saud Shakil should have just come at one down. Rizwan has opened before. I know he's mostly opened in T20s, but I reckon he should have opened, and that would have been way better than putting like a new batter, a new player in the team under pressure. Because imagine, like he'd have gone up and they'd have been like, "Yo, you're opening," and he'd be like, "What?"
Exactly. I think all in all, I think a huge loss in terms of runs, 60-run loss. It puts Pakistan's net run rate at minus 1.2 straight
Yeah, it's
away.
pretty bad.
Um,
But the other problem with Pakistan, I think, was one, their fielding was off. Like, there are players who are at the boundary, but not really at the boundary. They're fielding in for a batter who's been in for like 20 overs. The balls are like flying over them, and then the batters were able to steal 2 runs, like very easily. Like, did you see Glenn Phillips at the start when he came in? The way he
Yeah.
got in was just like dab it on the side, run quick runs. Like Latham was just like, "What are you doing, Bar? Been here for so long," and he would just like zoom through runs. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, there's a lot more discipline required from Pakistan on the field.
yeah,
I think we saw a similar thing yesterday from Afghanistan, which we'll probably get to it in a minute. But yeah, for teams, like New Zealand, South Africa, even Australia as well, they don't need to hit big shots to milk 6 or 7 runs in an over, right?
yeah,
The players are so fit they can run. You want to strangle them, you got to do both, right? Stop the boundaries,
yeah,
plus have your, stop allowing, singles to could be converted into doubles or twos into threes.
yeah.
It's got to be really sharp on the field.
And I think like I was watching some other interviews, and they mentioned, and I kind of agree. It was like with Pakistani bowlers, it felt like they were all trying to get wickets, but like they were all trying to get wickets individually instead of like hunting in packs. Because there was never like, hey,
Yeah,
there's so much pressure on one side that they're trying to attack the other side, and that side's getting the wickets. Um, that just
yeah.
never happened. Yeah,
When Pakistan, when New Zealand lost Convoy and Kane Williamson so cheaply, right?
Conway.
And then I'm like, oh my God, so Conway. And Williamson's so cheap, and I'm like, this is probably the time where you should tighten the screws, go for the kill. They sort of got Daryl Mitchell. I mean, they didn't get him. He
He got
got
out.
out because he wanted to break the shackles.
Yeah,
But again, under 75 runs, when you have got 3 wickets down under 75 and under 20 overs. So this is probably the time where you should bring in your ace bowlers, just get that one extra
yeah,
wicket, right? 4, 5 down, and then you'll see, the rest of the players want to see through 50 overs. So it would slow down the rate at which they were scoring. But yeah, I don't think Shaheen Shah Afridi was that effective. Harris Ruff, he was pretty good in his initial overs, but then
he
was
was.
taken for a big ride.
Yeah.
He was one of the expensive bowlers. Nasim Shah, a similar story as well. And interestingly, the New Zealand was, when there was a spin bowler on either of the ends, their scoring rate was slowing down.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand why the need was to, get 10 hours out of each of the fast bowlers.
Yeah, that's exactly
I
it.
felt Aga was doing really good. The other guy,
Yeah,
Kushdil?
Krishna
Yeah, I
Shah.
think Kushdil. He, yeah, he bowled like 6 or 7 overs. Aga bowled, I think, yeah, between them, they bowled 10 overs. They had a lot more. They could have gone a little more longer with that spin spell
Yeah.
rather than bringing in their fast.
But I think it's probably predominantly because Rizwan's one, a new captain. And second, I think he went in with a script. He's like, hey, I've got these bowlers. This is what I want them to bowl. And then he just rolled on with the script instead of like adapting to what's happening in the middle. Because if you just look at the economies, Salman Aga has bowled at 5 run economy. Abrar Ahmed, who finished his 10 overs, bowled at 4.7. So just like steal 2 more overs at that economy, and then you can bring back your
Yeah,
pace bowlers. Like imagine if 2 overs bowled less by Harris Ruff, we went to 8, and someone like bowls 1 more over, and let's assume he gives 6 runs instead of 5 runs, like one extra run in his economy, right?
exactly.
Still all good. Like it's all about just like stealing
And
runs.
and
But the other problem
yeah,
was,
and with
yeah, go on.
spin, they had to generate all the power. With pace, they were just placing it, right? Just get the bat,
Yeah,
hit the ball, and it was traveling.
yeah. And I think the other thing was they were behind the over rate, and it's because they bowled so much of the fast bowlers in the middle. And I think
Yeah,
he was potentially a bit scared because in that 30 to 40 over section, there's one fielder less in the outfield. So I think, because he bowled his spinners from 40 to 45, he saved them till then. And he was 10 minutes behind over
yeah,
it. He was nearly
Yeah, I think they were penalized for like 2 overs, 48, 49 and 50. They were
Yeah,
having one less fielder in the boundary. And okay, one other thing that really pissed me off in that first game. I know it's opening game. Oh man, too much Rizwan in the stump mic. There
he
was
loves a good chat.
they should tone down that.
That one.
Oh, they should tune it down. Well, I think they've done that for all the next games, but it was a lot of Rizwan in the years.
Okay. Well, we've talked a lot about Pakistan, but New Zealand. Come on, tell us more. Tell us more.
I don't think there's anything wrong that New Zealand did. They lost wickets at the start, I think, which is unfortunate. I guess Ken Williamson was in a great form leading into the tournament. It was just done by a really, really good delivery from the bowler. But with the way they constructed, the way they handled that middle overs, made sure there was no other wicket. But they never slowed down. They kept consistently scoring at that 5-6, 5-6 mark, and I think they were close to that 200 mark by 40 overs, and then from there on, with only 4 wickets down and batting so deep, yeah, it was once they were there, 300 was on the cards. It was always going to be hard for New Zealand, Pakistan to chase, especially with one frontline batter down.
Yeah, and plus, like I think with Phillips and the kind of form he's in, um, that lower down acceleration that any team needs for finishing, I think he provides it. And I think,
So
yeah,
he's not just with the fielding, right? He's not just with the batting. Oh my God, he must have, single-handedly stopped like 30 odd runs
yeah.
on the field.
Well, and the catch, you saw the catch.
He pulled it. I mean, blocks it. This is the thing. I started watching a lot of his previous catches.
Yeah,
I'm like, it's not that I catch it when it's near me. I'm like, I'm gonna pluck it out of air once the ball's
past
past
me.
me.
Yes, that's crazy for me. Like just knowing that, hey, it's I'm really close in, putting pressure on the batter, and then the ball's past him, and then having the awareness to like reach back while he's diving, full stretch and catching it. But I mean, look, I've seen Phillips drop like really easy catches, but he always makes like these crazy catches look easy.
Yeah.
Um,
And with Philip on the pitch, any score you got to add at least 20 or 30 more
yeah,
runs
yeah,
because he's gonna stop those runs on the field.
guaranteed. But I mean, how crazy is that? So that man, he's a wicket keeper, he's a spin bowler,
Mm.
and he's a great batter now in form, and a gun fielder, a 5D player.
And you put him in the inner circle, he catches he gets these amazing catches or stops the ball, even stops the singles. Put him in the boundary, and like he plucks things. He's like a flying bird that can jump out of nowhere.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I mean,
and you should. So
it's great to have a
I've
feeling.
seen Glenn Phillips like in one of the games in Auckland at the boundary, sorry, in Hamilton, and like I've seen him like cover the ground. He's so fast. He's so fast. Like literally, he was 10 meters from where I was sitting, and I could see him just like zoom through the boundary. The way he covers ground, it's and he's not even that tall. He's actually like fairly like he's probably like my height or maybe a little bit taller than me, but like he's not like a humongous like player like other players in the team. But he's like really
Uh,
built, really strong, and just really fast. Oh yeah, he's so good to
mm.
watch.
Well, all right. I think we can talk on and on and on. I think we should probably do a video of or record an episode just about him
Yeah.
reacting to his all amazing catches.
Guaranteed. Okay, one last question then for you for this match. Even though we didn't talk about the New Zealand bowling, but let's skip it. It was really good. That's our review done. Um, the selection headache. Who are you going for next game? Does Ratchet make the cut in the 11 if he's fit? Which I think he is now.
He's fit, but if a combination is working, don't break it. I mean, the only guy that you could swap off, yeah, I think everyone's informed. So I would probably say at this point,
So
unless someone else
I
is
actually
injured,
think Will Young
don't.
would have gotten the chop last game if Ratchet was going to play.
If yeah,
But
but
given,
not at this point. With the way he's performed,
yeah,
century under pressure, I don't think he's gonna get. And yeah, if I mean this is your you're one down, four more games to the trophy. You don't want to break the winning combo. If things go pear-shaped in the next game, maybe think about it. But yeah, I wouldn't change anything.
okay. So no changes. Russian warm the bench, so Chai's call, not mine. Um, cool. All right, next game. Do you want to do India Bangladesh or you want to do South Africa
Yeah,
Afghanistan?
let's do India
Okay,
Bangladesh.
done. Yeah, what are your thoughts? 35 for 5 and then scoring 220 plus.
Um, I think yeah, let's start off from that 35 for 5.
Yeah,
Had Rohit caught that hat-trick catch, that is 5 for 6. You're looking at a score of 70 or 80 or max 100. Gill wouldn't have got his century. Shami wouldn't have got his fifer. So what Rohit's done, even though it has hurt Aksar,
yeah.
he's basically made sure Shami gets a lot of confidence back. Our
Shami could
batters.
have still gotten a 5 though. Because at that point, he already had 2 wickets, right? 35 for 5.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
but yeah, Gil wouldn't have
Yeah.
gotten a
So
handy. But
yeah,
another thing, Chai. The thing that I was hurt by most was I and maybe potentially you could have watched the whole game before we went to bed.
absolutely. Absolutely right. So yeah, but on the hindsight, Bangladesh, the way yep, after that initial scare of 35 for 5, the way both the players, Hriday and Jafar,
Jacker
Zakir,
Ali. Jacker.
yeah, the way they played, right? I mean, against a big nation, punching up is essentially what they did.
Yeah.
And they managed to get a decent score, right? And it was not a one-sided game. They did make India fight for it. It was not that we chased it like 35, 40 overs, right? We went 3 overs less. It's not that it was so hard, but still they dragged the game, which meant all our bowlers had to bowl their full allocated quota. We spent a lot of time in the field. Our batters had to spend a lot more time on the field
Yeah.
as well. So yeah, big kudos to the way Hriday played, especially when he was all cramping up towards the end.
My
Reminder of
problem was,
Maxwell.
why were they not running him out? Like they were literally
I
underrunning the
felt,
ball, and that guy couldn't even walk. Like he couldn't have gotten his 100 if India wanted to get him out. Like India was keeping him in the game. He should have been run out
yeah,
like
I
three
mean, I think
times.
every time we play against Bangladesh, the vibes of 2007 World Cup kick in, where India said, "Oh, we need to have a bit of a batting practice." We chose to bat on a seaming wicket in West Indies and got bowled out for 147-ish.
Yeah,
They chased them up. Pakistan did a similar sort with Ireland. So what was supposed to be India-Pakistan clash turned out to be a Bangladesh-Ireland sold out in front of Indian and Pakistani supporters. So every time I see Bangladesh, that's the memory. But I'm glad we didn't go to that phase again. Um,
but al-
yeah,
but
I think
also
I completely don't understand why you know, 100 for 5, cool. 125 for 5, 150 for 5. There was no attempt of breaking the partnership. There was no, let the game go its natural course of action. Let's see through 50 overs. In a way, it gave a bit of, we saw Shami at his peak. He bowled 10 overs at his full capacity, 5 wicket a haul. Others got to spin the ball as well, but yeah,
yeah,
we
like
would have a
that.
early ending. It would have been nice.
Yeah, so I think we missed 3 opportunities in that whole partnership. So Rohit dropping the catch, KL missed a stumping,
Stamping,
and Hardik dropped the catch.
Hardik,
Right?
huh,
Yeah.
yeah,
I felt like outside of that it was a fairly flawless innings from the Predators, but in saying that, I think Shami could have bowled a bit more in the middle just to see if we can get the wicket like in the middle overs because that's the part that was missing, right? Like the reason we had to graft so much is because, yeah, like you said, there's no plans to how we can break this partnership, and I think the whole attempt was to not get them out, but just to control the economy of the game so the score doesn't go out of hand, which worked. Like they were not scoring at all. Like they built a house and they're like, we're gonna live here, try get us out. And they only got out when they wanted to hit the ball harder at the end in the last like I think 7 or 8
Yeah.
overs. Um, I think Shami bowled really well at the top. I don't know if he was as good as people say in the death. I think their batters
He,
sort of
I
just
mean,
were tired to hit the
yeah,
ball out.
yeah, I would say so because if you look at his economy as well,
Yeah,
he was one of the most expensive bowlers.
yeah. But Shami usually
Who's
is. Shami usually gives out a lot of
yeah,
runs, but he takes a lot of wickets.
yeah. He's pretty good. He got our initial,
Yeah,
that quick fire of wickets was really nice to see from him.
yeah,
Harshit joined the fun as well, very nice and early. Aksar joined the fun.
yeah,
But yeah, I would have. I think yeah, Pakistan game, which I think we're going to talk to pretty soon.
yeah. So
Yeah, hopefully things they aim to do a little different. They don't let the game go through the flow, but rather
yeah,
break the flow on their own.
yeah. But I think the other thing I think with Aksar, I feel like when he bowls in the last 10, the batters are just like, oh, this is exactly what we wanted. Like he was getting smoked. I'm pretty sure in one of the overs, I think he gave out like 43 runs, right? I think one of his overs was like
Yep.
18 runs. So half the runs that he's given out in
Yeah.
9 overs were just from one over. Imagine his economy
Yeah.
rate could just take that one over out.
He should. I mean, he should be one of those bowlers that you introduce as your first change, and then get 8 or 10 on the trot,
Yeah,
done and
or at
dusted.
least six. Give him six then, and then
Yeah.
bring him
After
from like
30,
25 to 30.
35, don't bring him back. Right? You got Hardik that fills in, a bit of
Even
4 or 5 over
Even
spell.
Jaddu's really good.
Mix him up.
Even Jaddu's really good because he plays with his angles a lot better and potentially a little more
Yeah.
accurate in comparison to I think because I think Axel does a lot of like side arm and around stuff like that, whereas Jaddu keeps it simple and he just focuses on his pace. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, I think our fielding was pretty
Oh,
bad, right? That's a takeaway, I think.
big time. Those three catch. I mean, I'll say okay, cool. Kale's was it's a 50-50, right? It was not a relatively straightforward collection,
I don't know.
but Rohit's
I think Kale's is very regulation.
Rohit's catch, yeah, Rohit's catch was straightforward. Hardik's catch was
Oh my
straightforward.
god, Dom's.
I think these two you can't. Yeah, with Pakistan, the next game we shouldn't be doing any of these loose chances.
I reckon it's going to happen more because both teams are going to be under pressure, right? Because potentially this is the
Yeah,
last time Rohit and Kohli are going to play Pakistan, right? Like,
yeah. I'll probably say Jaddu as
oh yeah,
well.
Jaddu as well. Yeah, yeah.
Maybe Kuldeep maybe on the verge. If
Kuldeep's so young.
is
He's not even 30 yet.
it? Oh, okay. Then I take it back. Yeah. So I think the trio of Rohit, Kohli, and Jaddu. This probably is the last time they're gonna play against Pakistan.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Um,
Okay.
anything else for this game?
Let's
Do you see any
nah.
changes happening? Do you see any nothing? Nothing. It's all the same. Okay.
Again, stick with the winning combo. Don't mess it up. The only bit that now, on a hindsight, I wanna is Arshdeep for Harshit. Again,
But Harshit bowled decent.
exactly right. I was surprised when Harshit was not included. Harshdeep was not included in the game, but then the way Harshit
The thing
rocked
is,
up,
with Arshdeep,
again, yeah,
you get really
let's
good
not
at the
disturb the
top.
combination.
With Arshdeep, you get really good at the top, and he's meant to be a really good death bowler. So I'm actually very surprised that he's not on the 11. Because I think in one of our other videos, I'm pretty sure I said Arshdeep's going to be one of our sorry, one of our highest wicket takers in the tournament.
Yeah.
So I don't know why.
Oh,
Um,
it's a tough world. It's a tough competition. It's a nice headache to have for coach and captain, I'm sure.
yeah, yeah. Um, and before we end the India Bangladesh review, thoughts on Kohli's batting?
I think we've seen this happen multiple times. When everyone's performing, he sort of
He's
sits
like,
back, relaxes.
I'm saving for the
Yeah,
finals.
you guys are taking care. I don't need to open up, but I'm sure there'll be a couple of big innings brewing in the background. I hope one comes up, and I'm sure one will pop up in our next game because Kohli against Pakistan is always fun.
Like the one good takeaway for me was at least it wasn't a fifth stump caught behind or a slip, or the other side is the way Adil Rashid usually gets him out, which is caught behind or LB. None of those. I think it was just a false shot on an average ball. Any other game, you would have gotten a four for that ball. So we're good. We're good. Cool. Next game. Uh, Afghanistan, South Africa. What did you go for this one?
Yeah, I went for Afghanistan. I must say I was so happy for the initial first 10 overs. I was blown away with their line and length and the control that they showed on the game. They were on the driver's seat. And then things slowly started, slipping away, 10 to 20. They gave away more at about 5, 20 to 30 at 6.5 or 6. And then it was downhill from there. And yeah, the moment the score or South Africa scored more than 250 with the bowling lineup that they have. Again, yeah, I'm like, all right, this is game set and done.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Like the crazier thing for me is Ryan McCoulton looking so composed for it was his ODI debut. So he scored a century on
it
debut.
was his first,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Um,
it's pretty good score, 103. And this is when he opened the innings, right?
yeah,
So he was seeing the way the pressure was being built upon the batters. He struck a very good partnership with Tempa Bavuma after that for the first wicket, which is pretty quick, right? Under 30. They both stabilized. Bavuma left. The again build a partnership with Makram as well.
yeah.
It's pretty good. And scores a century on the process, and it's a near 100 strike rate as well. So it's
Like
not
I
that
think he was about to
he
take off
consumed a
and
lot
he
of
got
balls.
out. And did you see
Yeah.
did you see his
Again,
wicket though?
yeah, that
So sharp.
it was not expected.
Yeah. And it was so
It's
sharp from Rashid.
unexpected. Yeah, and initially I thought he only took a step forward, and
Yeah,
I was like, "Oh my God, did he just throw in, step?" No, he actually charged him
yeah.
and
He
then
ran
played a
out.
defensive
Yeah,
shot
yeah.
and ran up. Oh my God, that was good. That was good turnaround, and
That's
it
one of
was
the
nice
best
gesture
best piece of
between both
fielding
of
they
them.
had in the whole game, I think.
And
Oh, that
yeah,
and the catch Fazal Haq Faruqi took on the boundary.
the guy at the boundary, right?
Yeah, that was a great catch.
The diving catch at the
Yeah.
boundary.
And he like
Yeah,
slides
yeah,
in and he's like, oh, it's all good. I know what the ropes are, mistress.
yeah.
But
So
the
chilled
funniest thing
after that.
was the funniest thing was it was David Miller's catch. David was like, my luck and boundaries. What is
Deja vu.
this?
Deja
Yeah.
vu.
But I think
Um,
overall, I thought like South Africa played a very measured innings. So that if you look right, every single
yeah,
player, 97 strike rate for Ryan McCoulton, and then 76 for Tempa Bavuma because they both like rescued, well not rescued, like they built that partnership in the middle when Zorzi got out early. And then Rasi van der Tussen came. He went at 113. And then came the big boy for the acceleration at the end of 144. And I actually think if Klaassen was in here somewhere, he would have taken it a notch above, and this 315 could have been 340 to 350.
Markram, right? He was struggling to connect. He was struggling to hit the ball in the start. I think he was essentially less than run a ball for his first 15 to 20 balls. I think it was only in the last 2 to 3 overs is where he started
Yeah,
smoking. And I think this is where even Afghanistan's energy dropped.
yeah.
They're like, all right, anything, as I said, anything over that 250, 260 mark, they sort of mentally knew that this game was slipping away. And that made the captain do a lot more
But
field changes.
I think that
Markram scores a boundary,
now
changes the field,
then he
but the
finds the
bowler
boundary on
still
the side.
bowls the same line and length. Another boundary in the same area. This time, change the field again. Another boundary. I'm like, yeah, doesn't
Now, but
work.
the problem I thought was when he first came in. I think either it was Rassi van der Dussen or Aiden Markram. But when they first came in, they introduced Nur Ahmed at over number 24, and that spell that he bowled, he couldn't lock in. It was everywhere. Like it was like
Yeah.
wide here, wide there, and then full
Uh,
toss.
um, that guy, he was actually messing up with pretty much all the batters. Everyone wanted to take him on for a ride and essentially were not able to pick him
Yeah.
up. I think again there were quite a lot of loose deliveries that he bowled as well. Way down the leg side, way down the
Yeah,
offside
he
as
had no
well.
control.
He
Like at one
included,
point,
yeah,
Rashid Khan had to come in and talk to him. Like, "Oh, are you all good? Let me take you back to the basics. This is the grip."
yeah.
Yeah,
Nah, I the way they started off was great, but I think that was the only greatest part of the game. From there, it was just everything was on South Africa's end.
I reckon they needed one more wicket, and then it would have opened up the game.
Absolutely. You never know. You never know
Yeah,
with
because
the form every other batter is in at this point in their squad. If another wicket, if it was Tempa Bavuma, the Sun would have done that same. Okay, let me play the anchor
but
innings.
I think if Nur Ahmed was on point and he didn't let people come in easily in the groove, and if they got one wicket early in the top, I reckon they'd have struggled against the spin. Would have been hard to score.
Yeah.
I reckon this 215 could have been
And other
217.
thing, that I was surprised was they were. I mean, again, Afghanistan, mostly script. The captaincy is mostly driven from outside of the field. There was less on-field updates. You get information from Jonathan Trott coming in. You know, they had Nabi and Rashid sort of strangulate the team, but I felt they could have stretched that spell by having Rashid. So Nabi and Rashid were bowling one after the other straight away. They could have got Noor Ahmed a little earlier, so they could have stretched that spin trio a little longer rather than introducing Noor Ahmed so late. I think Noor
Very
came in
24,
what after over 30 or 31.
24, 24. He came in exactly 20, like halfway through the
So I
innings.
felt, yeah, I felt they should probably mix up their bowling
Yeah.
lineups. Yep, Nabi got their key breakthroughs,
First
but
ball.
having said that, just I think if you're sticking to one or two bowlers, if there's no variation, the batters get used to it. And this is where the other thing is the fielding and the way South Africa was running between the wickets. Oh man,
It was so
every
good.
time the ball goes into the outfield, it was a two. I'm like, really, guys? And then they're not tired. They're again ready to run another two runs. Okay,
Yeah, yeah. That's crazy. Okay. I feel like Ramit Shah, the top scorer, he looked good. I reckon unlucky that he didn't get the Handy, but again, Rabada got him out, so he's so good. um,
yeah. I mean,
you go.
for me, Afghanistan is going to turn dangerous from here on, right?
What? Yeah, now they're playing to spoil the party, right? The first game is to get
Yeah.
into the
Now,
semis, but now it's like who can I
yeah.
spoil?
Exactly. So Australia and England, watch out. It's a injured lion sitting there, so you never know who it's gonna pounce on.
Yeah, guaranteed, guaranteed.
Uh, Talking about Australia and England,
Yeah,
they're playing tonight,
yeah,
the time of recording, in the next 6 hours. Australia pretty shooken up or revamped site.
yeah. They're doing
Right,
good.
that's probably a better word to say. um, England, I have no other words to say for England. I guess uh, after the way they performed in India, their approach to ODI, so it's going to be an interesting
But
contest
to be
tonight.
honest, I feel like their approach is only bad on their bad days. It's also bad on their average day. But if it's their day, the way they go, it could become 400, like 380 to 400, and then try chase that down.
Yeah, and with the way the pitches are in Pakistan, so batting friendly,
But
I think all
it's
they need
turning
is
a bit though.
just
It's
that
turning a
one.
bit.
That's true. Yeah, I think yeah, on their day you can't stop, you can't restrict them to anything under 375.
Yeah. But it has to be like their day, 100 on 100. It can't be like a 70-30. It can't be an 80-20. Like, it can't even be 90-10. That's how bad their approach is. It has to be 100% England day. Only then it'll go through. Because their approach is just so bad. It doesn't work in ODIs because it's a very long time to bat like that. Um, but in saying that, I think with Australia being a bit depleted with the bowling resources, I want to see how they go because none of them are debuting. They've all played ODI cricket, um, and
Never in these massive at this massive stage. They've all played
yeah,
bilateral series, here and there, popped up as a replacement for any key players
yeah.
injured. But
But the thing is,
it'll be good to see how
whenever they
they.
came, they did decent.
Yeah,
Like it wasn't like
that's
they
true.
struggled or anything. They did decent every single time. Um,
So yeah, so hopefully it's a good contest between bat and ball. We all
yeah,
get to
hopefully,
watch a great game rather than a purely one-sided game.
yeah, yeah. But in no way it'll be a one-sided game. Like in my head, it's England Australia. It's like the other big Titan game, like India Pakistan. People are going to watch this. Um,
Oh yeah, no, 100%. I think these would probably be two biggest games of this tournament: Australia, England, India, Pakistan, uh, and then everything else rated afterwards.
yeah,
And it's it's a blockbuster weekend because today on Saturday it's Australia, England, and on Sunday India, Pakistan. Uh, once today's game is in Pakistan, tomorrow's game is in Dubai. Thoughts on India Pakistan game?
um, yeah. I feel like it's unpredictable again because we don't know which Pakistan's going to turn up. If the Pakistan that wants to play turns up, it'll be a very close game. I think. Um, and everyone's gonna get a run for their money. I reckon in that game because it's pressure galore for both sides. So it'll be if
Yeah.
Pakistan play to 100% of their potential, and if India crumble a little bit under pressure, Pakistan's about the game. But with Fakhr Zaman down, I think Pakistan's gonna be a little like undercooked. I think.
And also for me, the loss against New Zealand would be running in the back of the head because one more loss and they're out of the tournament.
Yeah,
An international tournament happening at home soil and getting knocked out in first round. I think that is going to play a big role.
yeah.
Yeah, again, you don't know how they are going to take that pressure. Is it motivating, positive? Where I'm like, yeah, right, guys, let's take this and be alive in the tournament, or right, crumble under pressure, do some stupid
But
things.
to be honest, I think India also needs to win this because there's one kryptonite that India has in ICC tournaments. It's New Zealand. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's pressure on
So
both
yeah, I
sides.
think it's fair to say both the teams are it's a do or die game for both. As you know, New Zealand is a hard opponent, and with the form that they are
On
in,
fire. Yeah.
yeah. So
To me,
yeah, I think
I have this inkling from within that Rizwan's gonna go big this game. Rizwan might get like a
it's
decent 80-90,
it's
like a quick one.
it's worked. It's worked in the last time when in one of these big tournaments where Rizwan comes up the order and they score they do a massive chase. So you might as well see Rizwan and Babar open the innings as well.
Yeah.
Iman probably is more suited as a middle order if he's going to be making it into the squad, into the playing 11.
But surely he's not gonna be into squad and into 11, right? Like surely they'll have someone else in the squad that can take. No, okay. Interesting.
Hopefully. But again, it all depends on how they feel the morning, and we the pitch does offer a bit of support to the spin, or quite a lot of
Yeah.
support to the spin. Uh, I mean, 2-6, which is what, 228 in 47, 48, or 46 or 47 overs is what we took.
Yeah,
So, anything at that 300 mark is going to be a decent chase for both of the teams.
yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, blockbuster weekend loading for everyone. And you know what that means? We'll also be back with more reviews, more previews. So come back and watch us. But this is not the end of the show because Chai will bring up the predictor. I saved it.
Ah,
You
yes.
thought it was the outro, but it was the intro to the predictor, sir.
All right, all right. Let me get the predictor up. But it's looking like I am gonna be at the bottom of the table.
Ooh. Yeah.
So of the three games, I've got two wrong. Raj and Randir, the two of you, have been tipping a year on a row.
Careening.
So maybe if you get one more, you should go and buy a lotto ticket.
Yeah.
Four in a row.
But I have a feeling
And
Australia, England, and India, Pakistan will probably show us who the boss is. Yeah.
well, India, Pakistan, all of us have tipped the same. So it's gonna the result's gonna be, it's not gonna shake up the ladder much.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think that one, and I think Australia, South Africa might also shake up the ladder.
Yes, yes. I think that we've all gone in. I mean, our mindsets has been few of the games. Me and Aman have been on the same page. You and Randeep are on the same page.
Yeah.
And some games, yeah, we've all mixed up. So it's going to be an interesting remaining set of games watching this predictor. But yeah, as of now, Raj, yourself, and Randeep, you're leading this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. Let's go. Alrighty, people. Like us, subscribe us, comment under the video, and you can watch some of our old videos around us somewhere here. Yeah. Dios míos.